Good morning, student. In our last video, we have studied about the psychological factors determining the strength, endurance, flexibility, and speed. Let's start ours today. New topic: sports medicine. Sport medicine is the branch of medicine that deal with diagnosis, treatment, and preventions of injury related to sports. Whatever the treatment we do for the injury related to sports is known as sports medicine. The International Federations of Sports Medicine is the body who provide guideline for sports injury. Its function is not only curative and preventive but also rehabilitation. Means FI International Federations of Sports Medicines provide guideline for sports injury as well as its help in rehabilitation. The main role of sports medicine is rapid and full recovery of patient from the injury. उसका rapid and full recovery, doing his full recovery of the patient from the injury. According to Thesaurus, sports medicine is a branch of medicine concerned with the treatment of injury or illness resulting from athletes. कोई भी ट्रीटमेंट स्पोर्ट्स से रिलेटेड करना इज नोन एज स्पोर्ट्स मेडिसिन. अकॉर्डिंग टू वेबस्टर कॉलेज डिक्शनरी, sports medicine is a branch of medicine concerned with the athletes कंडीशनिंग एंड न्यूट्रिशन. एथलीट का कंडीशनिंग एंड न्यूट्रिशन के बारे में देखना. ट्रीटमेंट एंड प्रिवेंशन ऑफ एथलीट इंजरी, एथलीट का ट्रीटमेंट एंड प्रिवेंशन एंड improvement of athletes performance, means to improve the performance of athletes. First aid and its objectives. First aid is the immediate and temporary care given to the victim of accidents or sudden illness before the arrival of doctors. Okay, first aid क्या है? It is the immediate and temporary care given to the victims before arrival of the doctor. The first objectives of first aid is to save life. Knowing what to do and what not to do helps to avoid further injury or damage. The persons who is giving first aid should know what to do so that it helps to avoid further injury. Okay, first aid क्या है? It is the immediate and temporary care given to the victims before arrival of the doctors. The main aim of objective of first aid is to save life. Our objective of first aid. There are some general principles of first aid. If these are followed properly, the worst situation of the victims can be avoided up to some extent. These principles are as follow. First is immediate aid. If possible, the first aid should provide the immediate aid. Okay? At this time, we should not think about useless thing. So without wasting the time, the decisions should be taken so that immediate aid may be given to the victim. Immediate aid means if possible, give the immediate aid to the victims without wasting the times, and take immediate decision so that immediate aid may be given to the victim. Second is think about ABC. ABC. A means airway, B means breathing, and C means circulation. So the persons who provide the first aid should think about ABC. The first of all, he should check the throat of the victim and unbuttons the shirt of the victim. उसके शर्ट का बटन खोल दीजिए. And check the breathing of the patient. We should check his respiration. If the victim respiration is not running, then give artificial breathing. After that, the person should give first aid. After that, person's giving the first aid should check his blood circulation. For blood circulation, check his pulse rate. If the pulse rate is not felt by the first aiders, then use cardiopulmonary resuscitation technique immediately. In this process, artificial respiration is given, and after that chest is pressed for artificial blood circulation. This process must be repeated 15 times, at least 15 times. Okay, first is immediate aid. Second is think about ABC: airway, breathing, and circulation. First, check the breathing. Check the airway. For this, unbutton the shirt. Check his respiration. If there is no respiration, give artificial breathing. After that, the person should check his blood circulation. Check the blood circulation of the patient through checking his pulse rate. If his pulse rate is not felt by the aiders, then give cardiopulmonary resuscitation technique immediately. For this, his first artificial respiration is given, and his chest is pressed for artificial blood circulation. At least do this for 15 times. Next is stop bleeding. If there is any bleeding from any organs, it should be stopped at once. Okay, stop bleeding. If there is any bleeding, stop that bleeding. If hand or leg is bleeding, it should be rise up above the heart levels. अगर hand or leg से bleeding हो रही है, then rise up the hand or leg above the heart levels. In case if there is any cut on any main artery, then press it with the thumb or bandage it till the arrival of the doctor. Crowd should be kept away. It is usually seen that if there is any accidents, people gathers to look the injured person. So in that condition, the injured person does not get a fresh air. Therefore, the person who is giving first aid should try to keep the crowd away from the injured person so that he get a fresh air. Wrap the injured in cloth or blanket. The victim should be wrapped in a cloth or the injured. He should be kept warm. Okay, the victim should be kept warm. उसको गर्म रखना चाहिए. For this, use the cloth or blanket. Next is sympathetic attitude. First aiders should show a sympathetic attitude towards the victims. When the accident happened, the injured person feel the fear and terror. So, treat the victim with politely and sympathetically so that he may come out from her fearful situation, and also assure and reassure that nothing is serious happened, and is to perform his duty with calmness and patience. Okay, the person who is giving first aid, he should show a sympathetic attitude toward the victim. Fluid should not be given to the unconscious person. If the person is unconscious due to accidents, don't give any liquid because the liquid substance enters into his windpipe and that may create further problems. So never give fluid, never give liquid item to the unconscious person. Medical aid. The first aiders should call the doctor or expert immediately. These are the objective of first aid. First is give immediate aid. Immediate aid. Second is think about ABC. Third is stop bleeding. Fourth is keep the crowd away. Fifth, wrap the injured person in a cloth or blanket. Sixth is show a sympathetic attitude toward him. Eighth is fluid should not be given. Means liquid items should not be given to the person, unconscious persons. And last, call for doctors or the immediate or the expert. Cause of sports injury. What are the cause of sports injury? Every sports every sports persons is prone to accidents or injury, irrespective of preventive step or physical fitness level. Okay, and the main cause of accident or injury in sports is the lack of fitness. Lack or less physical fitness may cause injury. If if the athletes have less fitness, then it may cause accident. Poor concentration. Poor concentrations or lack of mental readiness also leads to injury. If the player is not mentally ready, or his concentration, if he does not concentrate, then it also cause injury. Overstress or tension. If the player take overstress, tensions, or have unbalanced psychological unbalance, it lead to injury. Not performing warming up. Before doing any activity, we have to do warming up. We have to do warming up to prepare mentally, physically, as well as psychologically. If we don't do warming up, then it lead to injury. Warming up is the main cause of injury. So before doing any activity, do a proper warming up to reduce the chance of injury. Equipment failures. Equipment fault or failure of equipment may also cause accident in sports. So use the right equipment. If you does not use poor equipment, then it also cause sports injury. Faulty skill action. uh, player performs Player performing faulty skill action or unbalanced movement while playing, or uncoordinating movement cause injury. If the athletes use faulty skill, wrong skill, and there is uncoordination in their movement, it cause injury. Not following rules. If the player does not follow the rules and regulation of the game, it also cause injury. Aggressive or violence behavior. Aggressive or violence behavior during the game is the cause of accident. So don't be aggressive. Poor play field. If the player field is not as per the rules of game, or the playfield is not maintained properly, it cause injury. Not considering safety means. If we do not consider the safety means, it may cause injury. So consider the safety means. Not wearing protective guard. If the player does not wear the protective equipment, it cause injury. Wrong training methods. If the player use wrong training methods or doing overtraining or putting too much pressure on their muscle, it may cause injury. Wrong treatment of injury. If if the players do wrong treatment of injury, if the player play without full recovery from the injury, or incomplete treatment of injury, or ignorance of their previous injury, it may cause injury. So proper medical checkup should be done before before participating in sports activity. Safety measure for preventing sports injury. How you prevent sports injury? Mainly in game and sports, the 100% is never possible. 100% safety is not possible, but it can be prevent or minimized by considering this safety considering safety step. Okay, in sports, the 100% of prevention is not possible, but we can prevent or we can minimize the sports injury. First is proper warming up. If we do proper warming up, like physical warming up and specific warming up before participating any activity, it reduces the chance of mistake, because it tone up the muscle and prepare the player psychologically for the game. Medical checkup before activity. Before participating in sports activity, do a proper medical checkup. If you are physically fit, then only participate. Proper concentration. The player should pay proper concentration, full attention over the activity, and full concentration, full alertness during the game, and to reduce the injury. And if there is any stress, tension, or mentally not ready for the activity, it cause injury. So the athlete should pay full attention, full alertness, pay full concentration over the activity. Safety guard and check equipment. Use a proper safety guard, good quality equipment, safety equipment, etc., and wear the safety equipment. Regular conditioning and proper skill. Regular conditioning improve various ability of the player, like proper skill action, develop specific physical component, strengthen weak muscle and joint. Okay, so regular do a regular physical activity. It will improve, it will develop the skill, it will develop the skill, also strengthen the muscle and the joint. Sufficient physical fitness. Sufficient physical fitness. For participating in physical activity, the athletes should have sufficient physical fitness. Consider safety means. The player should consider the safety means. He should have proper training equipment, and there should be a sufficient free space around the play field while playing sports activity. Okay, consider the safety means, proper equipments, etc. Proper and safe environment. The athletes should play in a proper and safe environment to reduce the injury. Where he is playing, it should be proper and safe. Activity under expert observation. The players should do any physical activity under the expert observation, like teacher, coach, etc. Okay, whatever activity you are doing, do under the observation of coach, teachers, instructors, etc. Good coaching skill. Good coaching skill means the players should take a good coaching skill from a good coach to prevent the injury. Follow the rules and regulation. If the player follow the rules and regulation of the game, it will minimize the uh, chance of injury and play in a true spirit of sports. Consider sports ethics and sportsmanship. Players should consider the sports ethics means consider the sports principles and also have sportsmanship spirit like friendly attitude, friendship with each other's, friendship with component, etc. Okay, play with sportsmanship spirit and follow the sports principle. Controlling aggressive and violent behavior. If the players should control their aggressiveness, control their aggressive and does not do a violence behavior. Proper training methods. The players should take a proper training methods, should do a proper training methods, and also does not do overtraining. If you do overtraining, then it cause injury. So do a proper training methods. Don't do overtraining or put extra stress on the muscle to avoid the injury. Follow training principles. Okay, follow the training principles. Follow the training principles, that is in a progressive manners. Do a training in a progressive manners. It will helps to prevent accidents or injury. Balanced diet and good posture. The player should take a proper balanced diet, uh, and and also have a good posture. Good posture means good body position. Knowledge of health education and first aid. The athletes have sufficient knowledge about the health. He should have sufficient knowledge about health education and healthy habit so that he can follow it. And also he should have knowledge about first aid. If there is any emergency, he can handle. So he should have knowledge about the first aid to handle during the emergency. Training regarding safety escape. Players should be well trained and guided properly regarding the safe escape from the disaster or accident. If there is any disaster or accidents, the athletes should have knowledge about the safe escape. Classification of sports injury. Sports injury sports injury are the types of injury that occurs during participation in sports or games, training or competition. Means the injury which occurs during the sports activity. Okay, sports injury means injury that occurs during sports activity. In sports, injury are common and it can occur anyone at any times. Injury cause damage to any part externally or internally which affect the health of an individuals. Okay, sports injury may be internal or externals. And injury can be classified into two parts: soft tissue injury and hard tissue injury. Soft tissue injury is further classified into two parts: skin injury and muscle injury. Skin injury is an injury over the skin. Skin injury means injury over the skin like contusion, abrasion, laceration, incision, etc. These all are skin injury. Muscle injury. Muscle injury means injury to the muscles, tendons, ligament, etc. That like sprain, strain, cramp, etc. These are the muscle injury. Next is heart tissue injury. Heart tissue injury. Heart tissue injury involves damage to bones of skeletal systems. Means injury to the bones like fractures, dislocation, etc. Sports injury is further classified into minor injury and major injury. Minor injury do not affect much to the fitness of a players, and this injury are less painful. They are not painful. Okay, it it does not affect much to the fitness of players, as well as it is less painful and vanish after some time if proper training is taken. And major injury affect the health and fitness of a players, and also decline the performance of the players, and it is very painful and need specific treatment for a major injury. Management of soft tissue injury. First, contusion. Contusion is the injury of skin caused by severe blow or direct or impact by external object without breaking the continuity of skin. Means contusion means contusion means soft tissue injury. Means contusion is a soft tissue injury in which the blood vessels of the muscles are broken, and there is a internal bleeding may occur on the injured part, generally caused by direct hit with a blunt object. In contusion. Okay, or crushing of soft tissue by a violent external force without breaking the continuity of skin. In contusion, contusions it cause acute pain, sometimes loss of function of the affected part, and there is swelling over the affected part. Means okay, contusion क्या है? Contusion is the soft tissue injury in which the injury or contusion is a soft tissue injury caused by direct hit by the external force without breaking the continuity of external force. अगर डायरेक्ट हिट बाय एक्सटर्नल ऑब्जेक्ट, किसी भी एक्सटर्नल ऑब्जेक्ट से डायरेक्ट हिट over the skin and without breaking the continuity of skin. For example, in boxing, wrestling, okay, जहाँ पे हिट हो रही है, the color of the muscle will change. There is pain, swelling, discoloration of skin, that is the color of the skin change from red or bluish mark over the skin. How you can management? First aid for contusion. First is apply ice for some duration. Apply ice for some duration. For soft tissue injury, use eye. Okay, so first use eye over the affected part. Second is apply antiseptic cream in case of bleeding. If there is bleeding, use antiseptic cream. Third is apply cold compression after every 6 hours. Cold compression, affected part को compress करते रहिए with a cold, with a ice, etc. after every 6 hours. Next, apply anti-inflammatory cream or ointment after 1 day to reduce the pain or swelling. एक दिन के बाद एंटी इन्फ्लेमेटरी क्रीम या फिर ऑइंटमेंट यूज़ करिए, so that it will reduce the pain and swelling. and after 2 day massage, 2 दिन के बाद do massage over the affected part to reduce the swelling. In conclusion, ठीक है, do massage only after the 2 days, ठीक है, on injured day, जिस भी day injured हुई है, don't do massage. First is use ice over the affected part, or apply cold compression after every 6 hours, ठीक है, use cold compression after every 6 hours, and if there is any bleeding, use antiseptic cream, and after 2 days only do massage. Next is abrasion. Abrasion is injury. Abrasion is injury on the surface of skin. Okay, it is the injury on the surface of skin. In this injury, the skin is scraped, मतलब छील जाना, or rubbed by a friction. It causes severe pain and sometimes bleeding over the affected part. It exposes the blood vessels and the superficial layer of the skin is scraped off. This injury is commonly caused by sliding, slipping over surface, friction, etc. Abrasion is common over the knee, elbow, palm, etc. So, abrasion क्या है? It is the injury over the surface of the skin. Skin में injury होना, and means accidentally rubbing of the skin against something hard or rough surface. ठीक है, rubbing of skin over the hard and rough surface, and damage the skin. ठीक है, rubbing of skin over the hard and rough surface is known as abrasion. In abrasion, it causes pain and sometimes bleeding over the affected part. What are the first aid and management of abrasion injury? First is avoid further frictions. Clean the part with some antiseptic cream and wash it properly with soap to prevent infection. It tear the tissue in the body by sharp object. It may be external or internal. In incision injury, the skin is torn out and wound is open. So first it avoid the further friction. Next, clean the skin after that. Okay, clean the skin after that. Then use antiseptic cream over the affected part. This is the first aid management for the abrasion.